In this video I'm going to show you how to find the greatest common factor, and sometimes it's also called greatest common divisor. So for example, we have to find the greatest common factor of two numbers, 12 and 18. So first I want to talk about what greatest common factor represents. Well, factor means we have to look at all the factors. So let's look at all the factors of 12 and all the factors of 18. So remember, all the factors of 12 are all the numbers that divide 12. So 1 divides 12, 2 divides 12, 3 divides 12, 4 divides 12, 6 divides 12, and finally 12 divides 12. Factors of 18 are all the numbers that divide 18. So 1 divides 18, 2 divides 18, 3 divides 18, 4 doesn't divide 18, the next one will be 6, then 9, and finally 18. So we look at all the factors of numbers 12 and 18. So okay, so the next letter, this was for F. So the next letter stands for common. So that means we have to look at the common factors. So we have to look at these two sets and find all the factors that they have in common. Well, these are 1s, 2, 3, and 6. So the following factors, 1, 2, 3, and 6, are the common factors of 12 and 18. And now what G stands for? G stands for the greatest. The greatest means we have to pick the largest one from these four, and clearly it's 6. So the greatest common factor of 12 and 18 is 6. That's what that means. It means it's the largest number that divides both 12 and 18. So now I'm going to show you how to find it. So in order for us to find the greatest common factor of 12 and 18, we have to write the prime factorization of 12 and prime factorization of 18. So let's do it on the side real quick. Prime factorization of 12 is, we can write it as a product of 3 times 4, and 4 is not prime, therefore we have to continue and write it as a product of 2 times 2. Now we have a prime factorization of 12. It's 2 times 2 times 3. And prime factorization of 18 is, it's a product of 2 times 9. 9 is a product of 3 times 3. So 2 times 3 times 3 is a prime factorization of 18. And I'm going to write it over here. 2 times 3 times 3. So the next step will be to find all the common prime factors that 12 and 18 have. So as we see, they have 2 in common and they have 3 in common. So 2 and 3 are the common factors of 12 and 18. But I need the greatest common factor. So I have to multiply 2 and 3 together. So one more time, I'm going to take all the common prime factors and I'm going to multiply them together. That guarantees that the product of all of them is the greatest one. So 6 is the greatest common factor of 12 and 18. So let's do another example. Let's say we have to find the greatest common factor of 60 and 48. So what we're going to do, we're going to write the prime factorization of 60 and prime factorization of 48. So let's find it real quick. So 60 factors into 5 times 12. 12 is not a prime number, therefore we can write it as a product of 3 times 4, And again, 4 is not a prime number yet, so we can write it as a product of 2 times 2. So now we got the prime factorization of 60. It's 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. So let's write the prime factorization of 48. 48 is factors into 6 times 8. Neither one of them is prime, so we have to continue. 6 factors into 2 times 3, and 8 factors into 2 times 4, and we have to continue over here, and 4 equals 2 times 2. So here we have a prime factorization of 48. It's 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. So it's very important to write all the prime factors and don't skip any of them. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So now the next step will be to find all the common prime factors that they have. So let's see, we have 2, another 2, and we have prime factor 3 in common. So we have 2, another 2, and 3. So once we've found all the common prime factors, then we just have to multiply them all. So 2 times 2 times 3 is equal to 12, and therefore greatest common factor of 60 and 48 is equals to 12. Okay, let's do one more example. Let's say we have to find the greatest common factor of 14 and 15. So again, we have to start with the prime factorization of 14 and 15. Prime factorization of 14 is 2 times 7, and prime factorization of 15 is 3 times 5. So we're going to write it over here. 2 times 7, and 15 is equal to 3 times 5. So the next step tells us to find all the common factors that they have, and as we see here, they don't have any common factors. Therefore the greatest common factor of 14 and 15 is just 1, and numbers 14 and 15 are called relatively prime. So remember, if they have something in common, you have to find all the factors and multiply them together, and you get your greatest common factor. If they don't have anything in common, then the greatest common factor is 1.